More on this. Let's bring in California GOP delegate Roxanne Hoge and Fox 11 Los Angeles anchor and the best political reporter in the state. That's a fact. That's not my opinion, by the way. Elex Michaelson. Thank you.
It's great to see you behind that desk, Bill. You look good back there.
You look good as well. Roxanne, thank you guys for both being here. We'll start with you. So Kamala Harris is now trying to kind of portray herself as Kamala the cop, the prosecutor, the law and order candidate. But you and I know her record here in California, going back to 2020. Defund the police she supported. She supported reducing prison overcrowding. She even endorsed George Gascon for DA. Do you think that California record is going to hurt her, help her, maybe a little bit of both?
It probably hurts her more than it helps her. It's clear that a lot of Republicans are trying to paint her as a San Francisco liberal, which doesn't play all that great in swing states if they're able to make that stick. But the question is, how much of California policies will she actually be blamed for? She was never a mayor, never a county supervisor, never a city council member, never the governor. So a lot of the more controversial things that come out of California, including our homelessness problem, things like that, are not things that she dealt with directly. In terms of criminal justice reform, she did a really good job of staying out of most of the controversial issues. Here in California, we have this thing called Prop 47, which was decriminalizing a lot of crimes. She did not take a position on it. She was able to stay out of a lot of it. So if she's able to make this campaign more about vibes and less about policy and continue to not answer questions from the press, maybe she can get away with it.
And a lot of the California baggages seem to fall on the shoulders of Gavin Newsom rather than Kamala Harris, as you just mentioned.
Who's more involved in all of those things from a day-to-day basis? Kamala Harris has essentially been working in Washington for years and not that involved with the California issues.
And Roxanne, I know you're a big fan of Prop 47 over there. Look, Kamala Harris, she doesn't have a whole lot of experience facing Republicans in elections, right? This is essentially a one-party state here in California. Democrats have had a supermajority here for God knows how long at this point. Every time she's run, whether it's San Francisco DA, California AG, California Senator, it's always been about Democrats, against Democrats. How's it going to be different for her this time, running against an actual Republican, the biggest Republican right now, in Donald Trump?
Well, we're going to see that she has a glass jaw. Look, she's been promoted just by Peter Principle every step of the way. She hasn't faced any real opposition from Democrats either, by the way. And so when she has to actually answer questions from people who have real concerns, I don't think her vibes are going to play that well.
And Elex, you're just about as dialed in as anybody I know when it comes to the political scene in California, both sides of the aisle, Republicans, Democrats. Since Kamala Harris got into this race as the now nominee, it's really shaking it up. The polls are tightening up. It feels like the momentum is in her direction right now. What are you hearing from all your political contacts across the board in terms of how the mood is shifting?
Well, I remember we were on the floor together of the Republican National Convention, and at the beginning of Donald Trump's speech, when he was talking about being shot, I was getting text after text from Democratic operatives who were saying, we're losing. This race is over. Trump is going to have a second term. Then a few days later, it was jubilant. I mean, there is a sugar high right now with a lot of Democrats who feel like not only do they have a shot to win, but that they're going to win. But will that change when she actually has to get into some of the policies, or is she going to be able to continue this going? But there were a lot of folks, I think, on the Democratic side who were having to make the argument about Joe Biden that he was going to be able to serve 4 more years that may not have actually believed that, that feel a lot better not having to make that argument anymore.
Yeah, Roxanne, as Elex just mentioned, she hasn't really done any media interviews yet. We don't know exactly where she stands now. A lot of her positions seem to be changing from what they were back in 2020, whether it's fracking or decriminalizing illegal immigration. She even compared ICE to the KKK. She's tossed around the idea of abolishing ICE, giving health care to illegal aliens. Take a listen.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role.
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health.
Now she's doing a little bit of a 180 on some of these prior policies. Still hasn't talked to the media yet, hasn't taken a question. Where do you see this going for her?
It's not going to end well. Look, I'm from Jamaica, so I can say this. She is not the best person. I will, the people are coming. None of what she says really makes sense. And that's because no one's ever had to pin her down. She's willing to take both sides of an issue because she's never actually, as you said, had to run anything or do anything. And I think people looking at her to be the chief executive of the country are going to think again before they put her in that position. She always talks like someone who got assigned a book for a book report and they didn't read it.
And a real quick question, 20 seconds left for both of you here. Do you think they're going to debate Trump-Harris? Will they?
Yes. Donald Trump loves being on TV too much to avoid it. And Harris, I think, is going to need it as well. So, yes, I think it happens.
Roxanne?
Oh, absolutely, it's going to happen. But we'll see if, when and how is the question.
We all want to see it.
Yeah.
That's why it has to happen.
That will be must-see TV, and Fox News, of course, would love to host that if they would agree.
Yeah, that would be fun, too.
Elex Michaelson, Roxanne Hoge, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Great to see you both in person.
Thank you, Bill.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.